I'm a Macedonian and I'm one of the volunteers that want to help the refugees as we are confronted with the refugee crisis. And so we see a lot of refugees coming here on a daily basis, maybe 300 to up to 1,000 people. And what they're undergoing is a terrible ordeal, hardships, and we just want to help them out to transit this country as safely as possible. Previously, maybe 2 weeks ago, they could not, the migrants could not take the train because we did not have this legislation, this law that allows them to utilize public transport. So they had to walk from the Greek-Macedonian border, from Gevgelija in southern Macedonia up to Serbia, so as to transit this country. And that was quite the experience for them. I mean, that was just terrible. We had pregnant women and women with 3-4 kids traveling alone on the road, on the highway, and old people, sick people, people with broken legs and fractured, injured arms, and it was really terrible. They had to walk on foot some 150 kilometers or so, just so as to transit this country. But like maybe 2 weeks ago or something like that, we introduced, the government introduced this new legislation, which is similar to the legislation Serbia has. That is to say, the migrants receive these papers with which they can legally transit the country for 72 hours. They don't really want to seek asylum here. It's just a formalized way of doing it because they all just want to transit this country and get to the EU as soon as possible. Now we have we don't have enough. Somehow we don't have enough room for them in our trains, and we only give a wagon or two. Only a wagon or two are reserved for the migrants, and the other wagons are reserved for Macedonians because somehow there's like this incredible segregation going on, discrimination, and so even if the wagons reserved for Macedonians are empty, the migrants still cannot use those wagons. Just sometimes they need to overnight in Gevgelija. They need to stay like a day or two in Gevgelija because they have to wait for the next train to come because there's simply not enough room in the train.
I graduated from the Institute of Commercial Banking. I signed for the university to continue my study, but I become wanted to military service, so I ran away. From Syria, I went from Syria to Istanbul since 8 months, and after that I went from Istanbul to Izmir to go to Greece by the Balkans. After that I stayed in Izmir about 3 or 4 days, I don't really remember. And we went to Greece. After we went to Greece, we stayed in the camp for 3 nights and 4 days. They gave us the paper, the ID, and released us. We went to Athens and stayed there for 4 days. After that, we went to the greece-macedonian border. We stayed there about 5 days, and we tried 3 times to cross the border. The third time was the successful one. After we have suffered from running and the bushes, the scarves, a lot of things. And now we are here in Macedonia because of the civil war. Because of the civil war, we are wanted to military service. A lot of young people my age and older and smaller than me are wanted to military service in Syria. They don't want to go to war. We are a peaceful human beings. We don't love war, and the war was very tragic to us. We have a lot of problems like mafias between the bushes. The army has sent us back when he got us to Greece. And we walked a lot. Yesterday or before yesterday, we was walking for 11 hours between the bushes, between the farms.
Firstly, we live here near villages, local villages. Of course, we would like to help these people because we know they are suffering. They don't have what to eat, they don't have food, they don't have money, they don't have water and something like that, food supply. And we do this for the sake of God, nothing else. We don't have any money, anything. Voluntary work, this is only voluntary work to help these people to just cross the border, that's it. We don't have any salary or something. We do it only for the sake of God. Because they are humans, we are humans, and everybody in their lives, they have hardships, right? So we help them just to pass the border, that's it. Voluntary work, free work, that's it. You see, these packages, it is included to water, half of bread, there is some piece of sweets. It's very hard because we don't have any portable medicine clinics that we can help people. This is the idea, you know. This is the message for everybody, especially to European countries, you know. They are very strong in money, in economy, in organization, and everything. They can do so many things. And the most problem is in the Greece border, because there are about 8,000 people, and they don't have the basics of hygiene. They don't have the basics of to clean themselves. You know, there are babies, there are women. There are some women that give birth in the field. Imagine, they have difficult situation. Of course, and the border from Turkey to Greece is very hard. What I heard from the people saying, the refugees, they give a lot of money to cross the border because the border is closed between Turkey and Greece, but they give some money to pass it. What they can do? They are in war and then they cannot return back. So this is the main idea, you know. People, they want to live. People, they want to live. Unfortunately, they have a lot of problems. What we can do, we help as we can. This is the situation.
We have a lot of people waiting in this cross-border region, like a buffer zone. Well, it's not really a buffer zone. It's like a cross-border region controlled by both Greeks and Macedonians. And we had like 1,500 people waiting there up until a day or two ago. Today, from what the Greeks have said, there are 600 migrants stuck in this zone, and the Greeks let them in, but the Macedonian police do not let them go continue onwards to Macedonia. because they're afraid that the Serbians will not. Well, it's just an international political game. It's connected to both the Serbian border, and it depends on how many people Serbia is letting through. So that's the amount of people that Macedonian police can let through. On the other hand, it's also connected to the EU putting pressure on this region being utilized as a buffer zone. So it's still messy. It's still quite messy, especially for these people stuck in this cross-border region, because NGO activists and the civil society sector and just any NGO, no one has access to this region, and these people are just stranded. They are stuck with no access to water, no access to food. We had one migrant died there a couple of days ago due to water and food shortage. He simply collapsed, and he left an orphan there and a 15-year-old kid. The only organization that's allowed to access this cross-border region is the Red Cross, but even they are not allowed to go there on a daily basis, but only like maybe once or twice a week.
I wish to reach Holland. I love Holland so much. And, I've heard about her a lot, and I see the way they are living. The community is very beautiful and very great.
What do you want to do in Holland?
Yes, I'm trying to start social community organization.
And why are you interested about social work?
To help humans, to help working, to help the refugees like us. I know the situation, I live the situation. I know what's mean for someone to leave his country. I know the support he wants to have. I know that it's my duty to do that. It's my duty to help.
To je fakt hustý, tady je tak fakt 500-700 lidí, vole. A my jsme to tu měli tak pro, nevím, 120, 150.
Tady teď začne pařit sluníčko a oni budou bez prostředků, bez jídla, bez pití.
We are from Czech Republic, and there are the people very afraid of this wave of migrants. And what do you think about that?
Because of the media, calling them from the IS, Islamic country, they're doing the massacres and the killing, I don't know what. But these are our refugees. You just go to them, talk to them, you bring some food, some water, some milk, right? And you'll see, they're very just fine people. He's just like you, he's from flesh and blood. His name is Muhammad and yours is Joseph or Mark, and that's it. There is no difference. Humans in the eyes of God are all equal. There is no differentiation,
It's a complex issue. It's a multifaceted issue because we've had a very nationalist government, right-wing government, for quite some time now, for 10 years maybe, and so many people are quite are supportive of this government, and they have some nationalist views themselves, or patriotic views, that is. So they are afraid of their identity being, Macedonians are afraid of their identity being threatened, but mostly it's not about their identity or fear of other cultures. Mostly, in my humble opinion, in my view, I think that mostly it's this fear stems from the fact that Macedonians think that the migrants are dangerous. There have been some conflicts, but not between the migrants and the local population, so not between the migrants, refugees, and Macedonians, but mostly within the migrant circles. But that's just understandable. For example, if I was traveling for a long time on foot, as they are, through mountains and crossing borders illegally, and that's just dangerous, and it causes a lot of stress, and they're stressed out and they're afraid, and sometimes they just they lack basic conditions. They need to sleep in the streets. So it's logical that sometimes some conflicts might arise, but I don't think that they are dangerous or that they are terrorists. To the contrary, usually I take when I go out to the when I go out, I usually take a cab to go home. But when the migrants were camping in my city, town that is, I used to walk home because I felt safe, because there were people that I knew and that I hung out with, and I felt quite safe around them. So I really think it's rational.
It's their right to be afraid. They don't know us. And in the other way, we also don't know. But we know about the human rights in Europe, and we know about all the good things in Europe. My friend, you can see in here a lot of people acting like a barbarian way. The reason behind that they are scared. They are very scared not to reach the country they want to go. This is the first thing. The second thing, they were at a lot of psychological pressure. They are really, really tired. And you know about the journey you know a lot about the journey from Syria to Germany. How is the way and how long is the way? So I think
it's not it's an unjustified fear, because I haven't seen a single person contract something, some disease from the migrants. So I don't think that's a rational fear. It's quite irrational, actually. As to the weapons,
Welcome!
so this flag, what does it mean? It represents, well, many people have, there's a divide, in Macedonia there's a divide between people who have, who are favorably disposed towards the refugees / migrants, and people who are not favorably disposed towards them. Sometimes people tend to think that they're contagious, but I've been in close contact with the migrants for a long time, so if they were contagious, I would have caught something. And even in the event, even if they are really contagious, it's just not acceptable to leave them on their own and to let them suffer. We still must help them, right? So this flag is our way of making sure that they feel welcome. Why we're doing it? Because we're all human beings, and Macedonians are human beings, and Syrians are human beings, and all the refugees and the migrants, Afghan people and Pakistani people, Algerians, and all the people coming, transiting this country are human beings, and they're equal to us, and they should be entitled to the same humane treatment and human rights as we are. So it's not acceptable for people to suffer the way they do.
Now is the month of Ramadan, the holy month for the Muslims. You know, the Muslims they have mercy in this month. I mean, they help. So this is a message to all European, Czech Republic or Hungary or everywhere, other refugees. Please do not hesitate to help these people. The problem is the refugees. They suffer. Most of them, they don't know languages. They know English. Somebody, I speak Arabic, I help them sometimes translating what you go, where you go, something like that. But most of them, sometimes if they don't have translator, they don't know English, what they can do. And it's very hard. But people are helping each other, you know. Nowadays it's getting better and better. Because people, they're going back to their conscience. What this happened to me, what should I do, you know? What happens to me? Somebody will help me. You know, I'm doing this before happened this to me. No, you should think maybe if I were in his place, right? I don't have food, I don't have money, I don't have clothes. You know, somebody robbed me or something like that. What I can do? It's very hard. Imagine that. Imagine if you are in their shoes. It's very hard for them. So, in this point of view, everybody should go in this point of view, right? To help others. If you help others like this way, God will help you, of course. Help others, and others will help you. But we don't care about the others. We hope only God to reward us. This is the main idea.
Do you believe that you return back sometimes?
Of course, someday I will be back to Syria. My family, my friends, all of my work back in Syria. I wish if I can back someday to Syria and teach people how to be heroes.
ما